Hello everyone. Before we dive into today's topic, we want to take a moment to thank you for your support. Every like, comment, and subscription truly makes a difference and helps this channel grow. If you enjoy our content and don't want to miss our upcoming videos, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all notifications. No one would ever suspect that, hidden in the silence of orbital void, one of the most delicate and decisive revolutions in modern medicine is taking shape. Not in Earth's sterile laboratories, but in sealed capsules floating around our planet, where the absence of gravity allows materials to behave in ways impossible to replicate on the surface. Here, shielded from Earth's relentless gravitational pull, matter reorganizes itself according to new rules, and crystals, tiny molecular architectures, grow with a perfection never seen before. For the first time in history, we are manufacturing medicine in space. The idea sounds like something out of a science fiction novel, but it has become reality thanks to a California-based startup with an evocative name, Varda Space Industries. Founded with the ambition of industrializing low Earth orbit, Varda has chosen as its first frontier one of the most subtle and complex challenges in pharmaceuticals: the crystallization of active ingredients. In July 2025, it announced a record funding round of $187 million, bringing the total raised to $329 million. The reason behind this investor enthusiasm? A nearly unexpected technical success: the return to Earth of crystals of the antiviral ritonavir, produced in orbit and still perfectly intact in their pharmacologically active form. But why crystallize drugs in space? The answer is as simple as it is fascinating. On Earth, crystals grow under the constant influence of gravity, which can cause imperfections, misalignments, and uneven layering. In microgravity, however, the process is radically different. Molecules align with greater symmetry and coherence, generating purer and more stable structures. This has a direct impact on crucial parameters: bioavailability, therapeutic efficacy, long-term stability. Some compounds, particularly those made of complex or sensitive molecules, are impossible to obtain in optimal crystalline forms on Earth's surface. In space, however, new possibilities open up. The process is as precise as it is delicate. Varda launches small autonomous capsules into orbit, containing the active ingredient in liquid form. In the absence of gravity, crystallization occurs. After a controlled period, the capsules re-enter the atmosphere, slowed by heat shields and parachutes, landing in remote and safe zones, such as Alaska, where the company recently opened a new operational site for material collection and analysis. Each return is a window into a new world, that of extraterrestrial biochemistry. Varda's success is not an isolated case but a signal of a broader shift. More and more startups, space agencies, and pharmaceutical companies are investing in orbital manufacturing, a field that until a few years ago seemed confined to the dreams of space agencies. Now, thanks to lower launch costs, increased robotic capabilities, and the miniaturization of laboratories, producing in space is not only possible, but potentially more efficient, safer, and, above all, more effective for certain classes of molecules. Scientists are watching the results of these experiments with growing interest. Crystallization is not just a matter of aesthetics. It directly affects the absorption of the drug by the body, its shelf life, and even its administration methods. More uniform crystals can, for instance, allow for more stable oral formulations or controlled-release injectables, improving the lives of patients with chronic illnesses. And what if this is just the beginning? What if microgravity allowed the synthesis of molecules that simply do not form on Earth? We are not just talking about purer drugs, but entirely new ones, obtained through chemical or physical mechanisms that activate only under orbital conditions. Varda's upcoming experiments, already scheduled for future launches, could test experimental substances for neurodegenerative diseases, advanced anti-cancer treatments, or next-generation antivirals. Microgravity is no longer just a laboratory, it has become an active ingredient. Varda's industrial model is extremely ambitious. It doesn't just build capsules, it aims to create a complete supply chain between Earth and space. From drug design in Californian laboratories to orbital production, and finally to sample recovery and global distribution. All of this increasingly supported by automation and artificial intelligence, managing every phase of the production cycle. No human operators on board, no manual errors. Only algorithms and robotic arms replicating processes with a precision unimaginable in terrestrial laboratories. Yet all this is only the surface of a deeper transformation, one that affects not only medicine but our very conception of technology. If a drug can be better manufactured in space, what else could be? Complex proteins? Biological tissues? Self-assembling microchips? The future, like microgravity, suspends certainty. The implications of this orbital revolution are as fascinating as they are destabilizing. For the first time, industrial production is freeing itself from the surface of the planet. It's no longer just about sending tools or materials into space, but about building value in orbit and then bringing it back to Earth. It's a Copernican inversion of the economic technological paradigm. In this context, medicine becomes the perfect testing ground. Every molecule, every crystal, every microgram can hold a measurable therapeutic potential, and every improvement in production can mean a life saved. But the stakes go beyond health. Crystallization in microgravity is just one of the fields in which the physical properties of space can transform our civilization. In orbital conditions, the absence of thermal convection and sedimentation allows for the synthesis of materials with unique optical and structural properties: ultra-transparent glass, rare metal alloys, perfect optical fibers. However, among all these possibilities, pharmacology remains the most promising and strategic, both for its immediate applications and for the immense global market it represents. Varda is not alone. Behind the curtain of the startup move silent giants, investment funds, healthcare institutions, and even governments. The repercussions of a new generation space medicine could be revolutionary for the entire global healthcare system. If an orbital capsule can produce an active ingredient 100 times more effective and stable than what's synthesized in a laboratory, the implications for the treatment of rare diseases, orphan drugs, or personalized therapies become enormous. Still, the challenge isn't only technological. There are regulatory, logistical, and even ethical obstacles. How do you regulate a drug produced outside Earth's biosphere? What standards apply to a substance that never touched the Earth until the moment of administration? Regulatory agencies are already beginning to discuss scenarios that were unthinkable until recently, such as the traceability of the extra-atmospheric production chain or the quality certification for interplanetary pharmaceuticals. This is because it's not unthinkable that in the not-too-distant future, even the space missions themselves, from lunar bases to Martian outposts, may need drugs synthesized on-site, or even manufactured directly in space. One of the most fascinating applications of this technology involves, for example, the use of enzymes crystallized in microgravity for gene therapy and synthetic biology. These enzymes can be programmed to repair defective DNA chains or to intervene in real time in complex metabolic reactions. Under terrestrial conditions, the structural instability of these compounds limits their effectiveness. In orbit, however, the game changes completely. It's as if the space environment allows us to rewrite the rules of biochemistry. And that's not all. Advanced automation and artificial intelligence are transforming orbital capsules into true autonomous laboratories. In the future, we might envision pharmaceutical batches, created on demand in orbit, triggered by predictive analytics algorithms monitoring the spread of global diseases. An emerging virus in Africa could trigger, in real time, the production of a customized antiviral in space, ready to return to Earth within days. This kind of adaptive response, unimaginable today, becomes possible only within a production ecosystem no longer bound to Earth's surface. And what if the next step were even more radical? Some scientists are exploring the possibility of creating drugs that function only in microgravity, compounds whose therapeutic activity is activated exclusively in orbit, designed for astronauts, military personnel, or space colonists. An extraterrestrial pharmacology, conceived not to fight Earth-bound illnesses, but to address the physiological effects of life in space: bone density loss, radiation damage, neurological alterations. This is the beginning of a new kind of medicine, created for a humanity that no longer inhabits just one planet. But the most fascinating part of this story isn't the technological progress itself. It's what it reveals about the nature of human innovation. For centuries, we've looked to the sky with a contemplative spirit, mythologizing the stars as metaphors of the unattainable. Now, that sky becomes a laboratory, a factory, a workshop. Space is no longer the final frontier, but a new kind of environment, a functional extension of our ability to build, heal, and imagine. In a not-so-distant future, we may see pharmacies displaying labels that read, "crystallized in orbit." And no one will find it strange that the molecule that heals us, that saves us, was born 500 kilometers above, among the stars and the silence, suspended in a place where matter behaves as if time itself had changed. Because in space, even the future seems purer.